Here's a quick tip from Jeff Mattocks for an alternative poultry wormer. Now, here's Jeff.
Here we go. Best natural wormer. I'm not a fan of wormers for poultry. I think if you're feeding the correct size grit, this is something you never have to do. However, it does happen on occasion. So you're not going to believe my recipe, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So write this down. It's equal parts of cayenne pepper in powder form, diatomaceous earth, food grade, and crushed up, ground up garlic. Okay, so that's your base formula. You start out with equal amounts. So if you use, and this is by volume, not weight. So if you use a cup, use a cup. Mix that all together. If you have extra, you can freeze it, save it for later. Then for poultry, per quart of this mixture, I add 1 teaspoon of copper sulfate, and I mix that into the mix as well. So this is your base mix. Then I'll mix this with either milk or yogurt, which the birds really enjoy and has a medical benefit for the birds, regardless of, other strange things you've heard. Just enough so that they'll eat it. So chickens can't feel the burn of hot pepper. They don't care, right? It doesn't bother them a bit. No bird out there can taste or feel capsaicin or capsicum from hot pepper. They don't have a problem with garlic, and they don't have a problem with diatomaceous earth. They do not like copper sulfate necessarily. So the milk's going to kind of hide that. If the milk don't do it by itself, you can add a little molasses to that. The smell of molasses is an attractant for poultry. I'm looking at getting, for a full-size large fowl, 8 to 10 pounds, I'm looking at getting about a tablespoon of that mixture in them every day. I like to do 2 to 3 days a week, and I like to repeat that for 3 weeks. So 2 or 3 days each week for 3 weeks, okay? Because there's eggs and there's larvae lodged in the gut wall of that bird that's going to emerge. And we want to be able to get them throughout the entire cycle. That's why we're doing 3 weeks worth. But it's pretty simple. It's extremely effective. This is actually one of the few crazy ideas that, has been university tested on large animals. We've used this for cattle, but we do it all the time for chickens. It works great.
Okay, I'm going to ask a follow-up. That's what I'm here for. Is this once you know you have a problem with worms, or is this just because you want to worm?
Worming should always be because you know you have worms, not prophylactic or preventative worming. I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings, but here we go. Is absolutely insane. Okay. There's no need to worm anything on a routine or on a cycle. Now, if you're the worst housekeeper in the world and your chickens are living in mud and muck, you probably need to worm once a month, right? But that's, they shouldn't be living in that environment anyway. We have fancy fowl. We spend a lot of money on them. They should be living a little bit better than a commercial chicken, I would think.
All right, I have a couple more follow-ups. Melissa's read your book, and she wants to know if grit would help. I'm just kidding. I think she's reminding us of the value of grit. She's not asking a question. She's positive.
Right. Yeah, she's on it. So
that's right. All right, so on this one, we're fresh crushed garlic or garlic powder?
Yeah, fresh garlic is always going to be better because it has all the essence still in it. And when you bruise garlic, it triggers an enzyme in there known as allicin. And the allicin has been used for millennium, thousands of years, as a natural antibiotic replacement. Okay, it's not in there to drive out the worms. Okay, so here's the mode of action. The cayenne causes tissue to swell, so it's going to cause the gut wall to swell up, loosen up. The diatomaceous earth is like sandpaper, and it scrapes them loose, right? It also gets in the segment of the worm and lacerates their segmented bodies, right? And the garlic is going through there as a healing agent to, heal everything back up where the parasites were before. pretty simple.
Okay. All right, and Grimes, Cadillac Chickens, wants to know if we've written it out so that we can post that later. And looks like I thought maybe Rip might have been taking notes. Did you happen to be taking notes during that, Rip?
I fell down on the job. Sorry.
No, I just thought you looked like you were writing something down, so I was going to ask. We will rewatch that and see if we can't get that posted on the Facebook group. Does that sound reasonable, Rip?
Absolutely. We can do that.
Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed this presentation by Poultry Keepers 360. All rights are reserved. This production has been made possible in part through the generous support of the Fur Trail Company, manufacturers of gardening and livestock products that are better naturally.